My name's Ava. I'm a Scorpio.
No. What's your last name?
Ava Combs.
What's your other last name?
Ava Barone.
Yeah, but so there's still, I mean, it's crazy too because there's still more happening in court. Like, I mean, everything is still active even though we're not hearing about it as much anymore. And the people may be fatigued like we talked about prior to.
When you think of Ashton Kutcher, you probably picture the goofy and lovable guy from That 70s Show or the charming lead in countless romantic comedies. But what if the reality of Kutcher's rise to fame is far darker than anyone could have imagined? From mysterious tragedies to unsettling connections, there's a growing sense that the man we think we know might not be who he seems. Today, we're peeling back the layers on Ashton Kutcher, Brittany Murphy, and the shocking web of Hollywood scandals that have come to light. Buckle up because this story is anything but simple.
The government is going to mandate that they are responsible for your well-being. They have to ensure the safety of your well-being.
Let's start with Brittany Murphy, Kutcher's co-star and former flame. Ashton and Brittany met while filming Just Married, and their chemistry was undeniable. Fans adored their playful banter both on screen and off, and for a time, it seemed like they were the perfect match. Although their romance was brief, with the two parting ways after just 5 months, they left a lasting impression on each other. Ashton even wore a matching ring with Brittany, sparking rumors that they might have been secretly engaged. But that love story turned into a tragedy that would haunt Hollywood forever.
Hollywood is mourning the loss of Brittany Murphy this morning. The 32-year-old actress Sunday, from what officials say, appear to be natural causes. An autopsy is planned, reportedly against the wishes of her husband.
In December 2009, Brittany Murphy passed away suddenly in her Hollywood Hills mansion. She had reportedly been battling flu-like symptoms for days before collapsing in her bathroom. Her mother, who lived with her at the time, made the emergency call, but it was too late. Authorities revealed that the official cause was complications from respiratory distress and anemia, compounded by a mix of medications she had been taking. While these findings ruled out any immediate foul play, Brittany's passing shocked fans and left an air of mystery surrounding her final days. Her home, ironically purchased from another star, Britney Spears, became a focal point of speculation. According to stories that have surfaced over the years, the house carried an unsettling energy. Brittany reportedly hated living there, describing it as unlucky and even haunted. Some sources say she regularly begged her husband, Simon Monjack, to leave and stay somewhere else. Despite her protests, Simon convinced her to stay, brushing off her fears. Still, the eerie reputation of the home only deepened after her untimely passing.
Final results will be pending toxicology and further tests.
It wasn't just Brittany and Simon who had concerns about the house. A former staff member who worked on the property during Britney Spears' ownership allegedly described a series of bizarre incidents. They claimed to have heard unexplained noises, seen shadowy figures, and even felt an overwhelming sense of dread in certain areas of the home, particularly near the bathroom where Brittany later collapsed. Brittany herself reportedly sought spiritual help to cleanse the home, adding to its reputation as a place of bad energy. While none of this is confirmed, it's hard to ignore the strange coincidences surrounding those who lived there. Interestingly, after Simon's passing, the house remained unsold for years, despite its luxurious features and prime location in the Hollywood Hills. Potential buyers reportedly felt uneasy or backed out without explanation. When the property finally sold in 2011, the new owners reportedly had it gutted and renovated, erasing much of its original design. Yet even with these changes, the house continues to be a chilling footnote in one of Hollywood's most tragic stories, a silent witness to the turbulent lives of its former inhabitants.
5 months after Brittany Murphy, Simon became ill, and he was experiencing the same symptoms as Brittany Murphy, and he
But the story doesn't end there. Just 5 months after Brittany's demise, her husband, Simon Monjack, also passed away in the same house under eerily similar circumstances. His cause was revealed to be nearly identical to Brittany's, complications from respiratory distress and severe health issues. The coincidence was too much for many to ignore, and rumors began swirling. Was something sinister happening in that house? Could environmental factors like toxic mold have played a role? Or was there a darker, more deliberate explanation? Authorities dismissed the mold theory, but the whispers persisted.
I've never seen a case where a young wife and 5 months later, a youngish husband, basically from the same underlying factor.
Now let's shift the focus back to Ashton Kutcher. While he seemed to mourn Brittany publicly, there's always been a lingering question about how much he really knew about her struggles. As her former partner, did he notice any warning signs? Could he have done more to help her? Fans have speculated for years about Ashton's role in Brittany's life and whether he carries any guilt, but he's largely stayed silent on the matter. That silence has only added fuel to the fire, making people wonder what he might be holding back.
Brittany was looking towards the future. She wanted to get her career back on track, and she was also looking to have a baby.
And Brittany's story isn't the only shadow in Kutcher's past. In 2001, Ashton was romantically linked to another young woman, Ashley Ellerin. The two were just beginning to date when tragedy struck. On the night they were supposed to go out, Ashton arrived at Ashley's home to pick her up. When she didn't answer the door, he peeked through the window and noticed what he thought was a spilled drink on the floor. Assuming she had bailed on their plans, he left. The next day, Ashley's roommate discovered her lifeless body. It turned out that what Ashton had seen wasn't a spilled drink at all. It was evidence of a life-ending altercation. This horrifying event has haunted Ashton ever since, especially because the man responsible, later dubbed the Hollywood Ripper, was also tied to other heinous acts. Ashton testified in court years later, but many still wonder about his actions that night. Could he have done more? Did he overlook something critical? These questions continue to swirl, adding another layer of unease to his public image. But Ashton's connections to controversy don't stop there. Let's talk about Diddy Chase, a name you might recognize from her roles in Lilo and Stitch and The Ring. At the height of her career, Diddy was celebrated as a rising star, but as she grew older, her Hollywood trajectory took a sharp turn. Rumors emerged about her being caught up in the darker side of the industry, with whispers of exploitation and mistreatment surrounding her name. And here's where Ashton and another prominent figure, Sean Diddy Combs, enter the picture.
Dawn had the choice to file the case as a Jane Doe, and she chose not to do that. After giving it a fair amount of thought, she wants accountability.
In a resurfaced clip from the 2003 MTV Movie Awards, Ashton and Diddy were seen presenting an award to a then minor, Diddy Chase. The footage, which has gone viral in recent weeks, shows Diddy inviting Diddy to an after-party, a moment that now feels incredibly unsettling given the allegations swirling around him. Diddy, once a celebrated music mogul, is currently facing some of the most serious accusations imaginable, including misconduct and exploitation. While it's unclear whether Diddy attended the party, the optics of that moment are enough to raise serious questions. And Ashton's presence in the clip hasn't gone unnoticed either. Some have speculated about how much Ashton knew about Diddy's alleged behavior and whether he turned a blind eye to protect his own career.
With this newest lawsuit, this would probably only expedite or increase the amount of allegations and potential witnesses who could testify against Sean Combs.
This isn't the only time Ashton and Diddy's names have been linked. The two were known to attend high-profile events together, including Diddy's infamous white parties, where Hollywood's elite would gather for luxurious and exclusive celebrations. While these events were often portrayed as glamorous, recent revelations about Diddy's private life have cast a much darker shadow over them. And with Ashton's close proximity to Diddy during those years, fans can't help but wonder if he was aware of what was happening behind the scenes.
I had clients describe NBC as hell, as the worst conditions they've been in.
If that wasn't enough, Ashton and his wife, Mila Kunis, found themselves in hot water recently for their public support of Danny Masterson, their former co-star on that 70s show. Masterson faced serious accusations and was ultimately sentenced to a lengthy prison term. Ashton and Mila wrote letters of support for Masterson, citing their long friendship and his positive influence on their lives. But when those letters became public, the backlash was swift and severe. Fans accused the couple of undermining the experiences of the individuals who had come forward, labeling their actions as tone-deaf and hypocritical. The controversy was so intense that Ashton and Mila were forced to release a public apology, but it did little to quell the outrage. What makes this controversy even more striking is Ashton's involvement with an organization dedicated to combating exploitation and trafficking. As a co-founder of a prominent advocacy group, Ashton has positioned himself as a champion for justice. But his public support for Masterson, coupled with his ties to figures like Diddy, has led many to question his sincerity. How can someone who claims to fight for victims also stand by individuals accused of such serious wrongdoing? The contradictions are hard to ignore. And now there are whispers that Ashton's marriage to Mila Kunis might be on shaky ground. Sources close to the couple have suggested that Mila is distancing herself from Ashton, possibly in light of the mounting controversies. Could she be cooperating with authorities behind the scenes? Does she know something that could potentially implicate Ashton further? These rumors have only fueled speculation that Ashton's carefully crafted public image is beginning to crumble.
There has been some updates in the Diddy $100 million default judgment that we reported on.
So what do we make of all this? From Brittany Murphy's tragic end to the haunting events surrounding Ashley Ellerin, from his ties to Diddy to the backlash over Danny Masterson, Ashton Kutcher's life is filled with complexities and contradictions. Is he simply a victim of unfortunate circumstances, or is there more to his story than meets the eye? And as more information comes to light, will Ashton finally address the questions that have followed him for years, or will he continue to remain silent? So, what do you think? Is Ashton Kutcher's public persona just a facade hiding a deeper, darker reality, or is he simply a man caught in the crossfire of Hollywood's ugliest scandals? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the hidden stories of the entertainment world. Until next time, stay curious.